All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is -2 cosecant pi times x plus pi over 2. Let's go ahead and let's pull out our A, our B, our C. There is no D. There is no D, so the x-axis will remain the midline here. So A is -2. B is pi, and then pi x plus pi over 2, we will set it equal to 0 to find the phase shift of this graph. Pi x equals negative pi over 2, x equals -1/2. So we have a phase shift to the left, -1/2. Let's find our period here. The period will be determined by taking 2 pi and dividing by the b value. The b value is pi, so our period length is 2. Just a reminder, this is the cosecant. The cosecant is the reciprocal of the sine. So we're going to graph the sine curve first, then establish where the asymptotes are, and then we'll graph the cosecant. So we've got a phase shift of -1/2, so I'm going to go back 1/2, and then I'll be adding 2 to that. -1/2 plus 2 is 1 1/2. So our period will be starting here and ending here. This is a sine curve. That's why I'm going to go ahead and mark the midline in both places. So if we have midline crossings at the beginning of the period and at the end, there will also be a midline crossing in the middle. Now, look at the A value. The A value is -2. So out the gate, instead of going up, we will be going down since the A value is negative. So minimum value and minimum value. Note that I'm going up 2 and down 2. So let's get a couple more points plotted. 1/2, 2/2, 3/2, 2, then 2 1/2, then 3, then 3 1/2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and there, there, and here, there. So here is our sine curve. I'm going to do it, graph it in yellow, and then we'll fill in the asymptotes for the cosecant. So our cosecant is going to have an asymptote every time we have a midline cross. And remember on our quiz tomorrow that I want to see these asymptotes. I want to see where the graphical limits are for this function. So now, using my purple pen, I am going to finally graph the cosecant here. So there's one branch, 2, 3, 4. There we go. There is y equals -2 cosecant pi x plus pi over 2. Next, y equals tangent of x plus 3/2 over 2 minus 2. So right away, going straight for the d value. The d value is -2, so the entire graph is shifting down -2 units. The entire graph is shifting down -2 units. We do have an a value of 1, so not going to have much action in terms of stretching these branches. Next, we've got a b value of 1, so the period for our tangent function will remain pi units long. Let's find out what the phase shift is by taking the quantity inside the parentheses and setting it equal to 0. We've got a shift 3 pi over 2 to the left. So since it's in terms of pi over 2, we can count it off in terms of pi over 2. So negative pi over 2, negative pi, and negative 3 pi over 2. So we are shifting it all the way that way. So let's think about this. And actually, I think I will even extend my x-axis a little bit so I can get my asymptote in the correct location on this side of the graph. So negative 2 pi, negative 5 pi over 2. If our period is pi units long, then if we are starting at negative 3 pi over 2, we've shifted from the origin back 3 pi over 2. We've got to take the period and then cut it in half. So half of pi is pi over 2. So that means from this particular spot on the x-axis, we will have an asymptote at pi over 2 units to the left and pi over 2 units to the right. So those are my first two asymptotes. Remember that we have a vertical shift down 2. So my first point is going right there. Back 3 pi over 2, down 1, and then this is the total length of my period in between these two asymptotes. So we're going to have another asymptote at the origin at x equals 0. And then I'll start numbering in the positive direction. And so basically we've got an asymptote every whole multiple of pi. And then we've got midline crossings everywhere at increment of pi over 2. Now, A is a positive 1. So this is the tangent graph. The tangent branches are all increasing as long as A is positive. So with an A value of 1, remember it's all about going to the middle, so we're going to go to the middle in between negative 2 pi and negative 3 pi over 2, and we're going to drop down 2. And in the middle, in between negative pi and negative 3 pi over 2, we will go up 1 and plot a point. So here's what each of the branches of the tangent graph look like. Down 1, up 1. Down 1 and up 1. And I'll do one more. That is tangent x plus 3 pi over 2 minus 2.